We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
What we do not do is spy unlawfully on Americans.
We are leaving in 2014, period. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
You are listening to Biting the Bullet with Luke and Typo.
Yo.
Don't you want to keep up, dude? Fucking
Dude,
Oscars have black on black violence.
Honestly, I haven't been on shit all week. Like, I haven't been on shit since you came into town last week. I really haven't done shit with any social media. I was like, I'm good.
Dude, I didn't take any.
It was kind of nice. Yeah, neither did I. We should have. We never take pictures.
I know, dude. I was so
shout out to our boy, fucking Tyler. My fucking camera's being retarded.
Yeah, he never listens to this though. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. We
I
met a fan.
Fantasy football.
We met a fan. He got to watch Biting the Bullet live, and like not just live on a screen, live at a bar.
That's how he framed it.
Yeah, and I hope it was as entertaining. It's probably more entertaining, to be honest. I think you and I were talking about this. Probably more entertaining us in person out at a bar than us on the show.
It might be too much.
It might be too much. It might be.
We just get.
I feel like we're
animated. We just get animated about everything, dude.
Especially in person. I don't know. Everything in person is just more fun. And then getting to see people's reactions, because that was the cool thing, was not even just having him there, but one of our other friends was there who's not really like on the sphere like we are, autism wise or
on the spectrum.
Yeah, on the spectrum, autism wise or otherwise, as us. And so he got to watch us just try to like make this person feel incredibly embarrassed the entire time, and that was really fun. And most of it was politics and then other random shit, and it was a good time. It was a fun weekend, and I was hungover as shit on Monday, and Tuesday I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to go back to work, and the rest of the week kind of just felt like Monday every day.
Yeah, dude. Because I took off Monday. But yeah, I don't know why, but the flight there, like, it felt like I fell asleep right through it. It was over and done with. And it was like, boom, I'm in Phoenix. And it's like, holy shit, I'm back in Phoenix. And it was like, when I walked out of the airport, it's that Arizona heat, because it just so happened to be like pretty hot that weekend not as hot as like Arizona, but like a hotter weekend.
It was probably the hottest weekend we've had this year so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. It came at the perfect. I mean, it was like 95, so I didn't think it was terrible, but it was a little toasty.
It felt decent, but it was a little hot. It was a little too hot to stay in the sun for long periods of time.
Yeah. But it was a good weekend. I had a great time. And then, but yeah, dude, it was I don't know why. Every time I fly, I feel like my sleep schedule just gets fucked up.
Oh,
for 3 days, dude. We
also the first day we fucking stayed out until at least 2, and then had to be up at 9 to be at the tournament by 10. And then the second day we were up until 2 and had to be up at 10 to get you to your flight by 11. So it's not like we slept a whole lot, and being drunk, like, that doesn't fucking help. So it was fun, but I'm getting older. I can feel myself slowly getting older. And I keep having this mentality of, I'm not getting older. Like, I don't care. Like, people can do this for a long time. And they can do this for a long time if they are actually healthy in the other aspects of their life. And lately I have not been. So it sucked. And literally every day felt like Monday. And Twitter was too much of a dumpster fire. So I just kind of stayed off Twitter, stayed off Instagram. I wasn't on anything. I didn't post any memes. I didn't do shit. I was a fucking bum all week. Came home. And work was long. Work was fucking long. I don't know. It seems like a lot of the other guys out there will probably get this that run revenue or anything else like for their job, that the last week of the month is always garbage. Like you're getting thrown away left, right, and center, just constantly on the move. So it was a busy end of the month after a hell of a weekend.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, you haven't missed much, dude. Twitter. Yeah, you can come right back in. It's like you haven't missed it, and you'll come back into Twitter, and you're like, that's why I left. There it is.
There it is.
That's why I fucking logged off for a few days.
I know I missed the Oscars, as did most of the United States, except for one 15-second clip.
I don't think anyone watched the Oscars. We just knew what happened, dude.
We watched one 15-second clip, and I'm here to tell you that I don't give a shit about who was right or wrong in that situation whatsoever. I don't care.
Dude, I gotta say that it's pretty wild that he like slapped a dude and then like 10 minutes later won a fucking Oscar.
I know, dude. Savage.
I was like, like whatever you think about Will Smith, like that's kind of a badass thing. Now, I'm not saying like he should have done it. I'm not on either side. I don't really care. But like, it's just pretty crazy.
We're two straight white males. Why would we care about black on black violence unless it's an argument that we're making?
Exactly, dude.
I don't understand.
But them all like standing up and cheering, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty well. And so like on the one hand, it's like Chris Rock's a comedian, right? And so he gets to make you should make jokes. Like I get it. And the other hand is like Will Smith is stepping up for his wife, but his wife just, fucks other dudes. And so what are you really doing? Like, what are you defending? Because you're already a beta bitch, like you're already and you're a fucking weirdo. He's a Scientologist person, I'm pretty sure. Like who really gives a shit? But it's like, and then on top of all of that, they're all fucking at the Oscars. Everybody at the Oscars is a fucking tool that I don't really care for. And, but it's savage to slap a man and then watch the other man not do anything. That's savage. Like that's pretty base.
Yeah. Well, I was like, from my understanding,
fighting a guy that's getting cucked by his wife.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's like, bro, I'll just fuck your wife after I make this joke. Like,
yeah. Well,
I would make it a part of my special. Yeah,
so,
I would make it a part of my special if I was Chris Rock.
Well,
like everybody saw that
his tour, and it's called moral something. I forgot. It's something, but it kind of references like what just happened. I forgot. It's what is this called? His redemption.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You can tell when you read it. You're like, oh, this is kind of a reference to what just happened.
That's
and I
really
think he's
funny.
probably going to talk about it. But I thought that like when I first watched it, because I didn't see the slap thing. I just saw the video. Like I didn't see the caption like Will Smith slapped. Mm-hmm. I just saw the video. And I thought it was like he was going to go over there like a joke. Like it was a joke. Like it was like he's walking up there acting like he's mad and they're going to like hug in the end or something. So I thought like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, this is fake. Like this is just fake. Like it's just to, get some laughs, get some attention. But then like after like watching it a little bit more, I was like, I don't know if this is fake anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where's the punchline? Like what's going on here? Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
I don't, and that's the thing. Like everybody's like, oh, it's whatever. It's fake. Two actors acting, and it's like very well possibly it could be, but
sure.
With the way Will Smith has been carried in the media lately, especially in like normal everyday people, like they're like he lets his wife fuck other dudes, like that's like very well known, and everybody's like, meh, that's fucking weird, and he's kind of a bitch for it. At least normal people kind of think that. Like I don't know, there's not kink shaming, but I don't know. I don't really associate myself with cucks. That's
Dude,
not my
and it's
thing.
not even like this is a secret. They aired out their grievances on TV.
And she destroyed him. She made Will Smith look really, really fucking bad.
He started crying.
As a human being, like not even like, oh, his manlyhood or whatever. Like she made him look like he was nothing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right. And then Chris Rock, he's a funny ass comedian. I love Chris Rock. Chris Rock's funny to watch. He's got some good ass jokes, and he's not really big on the fucking politisphere or the social justice warrior shit. Like he makes fucking jokes about men and women and the differences between them, and that there's men and women. Like I don't know, like so everything that I've watched of Chris Rock I usually like, but fuck, dude, that was wild. Like I popped on Twitter this week and saw that, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna head back out. I'm gonna head back out.
Well,
I did the Homer disappearing into the bushes.
Yeah, I watched it when I was in Arizona, but then I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be in the news for a while. I don't need to comment about it today. Like, I don't. Because it's. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, the Oscars aren't what they used to be. And like the best part, at least for most people's, from my perspective, was the comedians ragging on the Hollywood elite, like Ricky Gervais or whatever, that the British guy that
Ricky
slaughtered. He just slaughtered the Oscars.
The original creator of The Office, typo, your favorite show.
Yeah.
Get his fucking name right.
Whatever, dude. I'm terrible with names, but he slaughtered, made all those Epstein jokes or whatever at Hollywood. It was like, that's the best part. That's the only part I watched in the Oscars. Yeah. And so I thought it was just funny that like, Chris Rock got slapped and then like all those Hollywood like started standing up and clapping. I was like, oh, this hits a little close to home for some of these people. Or like maybe they don't like it that much when there's a comedian up there that just rags on them. And then the only part that goes viral on the internet that's from the Oscars is the part where they're getting ragged on.
Especially this year.
Yeah. Or the last couple years, honestly. But yeah, exactly.
The last couple years, it's been the comedian that's just been destroying them, and everybody's like, watch the elites get destroyed.
Yeah, dude.
And this year it was like a comedian, and like I don't know, it's weird. I hope they start fighting back. That would just make them it's just an easier target. Like I love it because everybody
more elites fighting publicly.
Yes. it would, because most of the people weren't making fun of Chris Rock. They were making all the memes that I did see were making fun of Will Smith.
Oh yeah, the internet has decided they're against Will Smith.
Yeah, like I saw one, and it was Alice Asanya. I don't even know if I can say his name right. Alice Asanya or whatever fucking singer's name is. He was the one that cheated on. It's like Jaden Smith's friend. That he's the one that fucked Jada Pinkett, right? Jada Pinkett. Yeah. He's the one that fucked Jada, and that they were talking about on live television. It was like it was like Alice Asanya's dick and Will Smith, and then Chris Rock was Jada Pinkett's ass. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And that's those are the memes that I saw. It was shit like that. And I was like, this is fucking great. Like I'm all for this.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like there's always like some things, like anything with politics, it's like there's two sides and you're gonna see both sides of whatever it is. But like there's just some things that, like I don't know what it, like I think it's like on the internet, like they hate celebrities. Like I don't know what it is, but like
it doesn't matter what your political affiliation is.
Like all these people on the internet, like it's always on both sides. You'll see these people just go like throwing haymakers at them on the internet, dude. You're just like, God damn, dude. And it's just so funny. Where like I think Will Smith was trying to like maybe prove himself or something, try to earn the respect from his wife or something. I don't know what exactly he was going for, but I think obviously this has backfired tremendously for him. Like it just makes him look even worse. And
because when everybody felt bad for him, and now they don't.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, we feel bad for Will Smith," and everyone on the internet has decided that we hated Jada. Like they all hated his wife.
And now we're like, they both suck.
Yeah, and I was just like, "You're done, dude. It's over."
Good times.
But I
Good
will
times.
still. I'm saying I'm still back it up. It's pretty ballsy to like slap someone, win an Oscar, get asked to leave, and refuse.
So who wins? Does Chris Rock win for not throwing a punch back, or does Will Smith win because Chris Rock didn't throw a punch back?
I don't know, dude. I think
This is how you know. This is how you know that they're both
lose.
not. This is how you know that they're both not truly black, because it didn't turn into like a fight. And
well, yeah, when Kid Rock,
because like I don't care. I don't know if somebody
Tommy Lee got in a fight, they got arrested.
Yeah. Like this is and both those people are from nothing. So that's what I should say, not white or not black. It's that both these people, like as Will Smith did come up as like a nothing, at least from his story, but like
he was born in West Philadelphia, dude. Born and raised.
They just like literally you can't do that in a lot of poor people's areas. Like you get it doesn't matter what type of money you make now. Like it's like, all right, bet, bitch. Like we're fighting, we're throwing down. You're not gonna slap me. Yeah. You think I care about how many fucking people are here? Watch me whoop your ass in front of all of them. Like
dude. I feel like then there was some like reactions to it that I think were a little dramatic. I mean, this is when Twitter got really interesting, dude, because you'd see like Amy Schumer being like, "I'm traumatized from this event."
I know. Like, that was the best part.
Like what?
And these people have a significant influence over other people's voting habits.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy too. Is like it's always the same like mildly thing that happens. It's just like if anything happens that's negative, they're gonna say they were tremendously affected by this.
Yeah.
And it's like, if some dude getting
you're
slapped
tremendous,
if some dude getting slapped is tremendously like, then look at all the people that were like, I was tremendously traumatized from January 6th.
Yeah.
When I was standing outside and the side I was on was actually kind of peaceful, but just the thought of what could happen scared the fuck out of me. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are these journalists and check marks like lame, dude?
Well, and that's why you can be I mean, that's the culture we're in, right? You can be traumatized by anything. You can be traumatized by words that aren't directed towards you or even around you or at something that you associate yourself with, but those words will traumatize you. And it's a fucking soft ass culture, bro. Like everybody, I know a lot of libertarians fucking hate that phrase that Joe Rogan says, but it's like, and it's from somebody else, but everybody gets pissed because Joe Rogan says it, where it's like soft men create hard times create hard men create soft times create hard time, or soft men create hard times. Like, dude, it's a cycle. Like, I'm not saying that it's completely true or that but it's a decent way to look at things. And I like not even getting into the philosophical on what hard times and soft times are. Like, who really gives a shit? You know what it's saying. And it's like, bro, we're in a time period of like incredibly soft human beings. Like some of the softest people that have ever lived in the history of humanity. If you don't think we're looking towards a darker time, like, I don't know what you are expecting. Like we're offended by words. We're triggered by one dude smacking another dude on a television live show. Like, that wouldn't have even been something that people would have given a shit. People got in fight like fucking 20 years ago. People would get in fights at bars, and somebody watching
World Star.
Yeah, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, I still watch World Star. Like, goddamn, they have a Twitter page now. It's great, but like, it's just, I just don't understand where. Like, there's no way out, typo. There's no way out. It just makes it worse. Like, it just shows like how fucked everything is at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like, this little area, I'm not saying this is a representation, this Oscars thing is a representation of society as a whole, but people's reactions to it are what I'm talking about. And I think it does represent a large portion of the population, which is, it's just honestly, to people like you and me, and to a lot of people that we hang out with personally, like that shit's funny as fuck. Like, it's like, that's great to watch. Like, that's fucking awesome TV. I love it. That's what I watch it. Or if I had to watch it, that's why I watch it. I'll watch that fucking video 15 more times.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get old. It's funny. It's funny as shit. But there's people that are legitimately going to talk to their therapist about it this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people were like they made Donald Trump out to be, and people like literally had to go to therapy, or at least they said they had to go to therapy because Donald Trump was elected. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I don't know. But another thing too.
What were some of the good things that comedians said? I didn't see any. Obviously, I was off Twitter. You said some of the comedians said some funny ass shit.
Oh, fucking what's it? Andrew Schultz did a podcast about it, and it was actually really hilarious. He spent the whole time like roasting Jada, and I don't remember what it was, but it's on Flagrant 2, and he's the one where he's wearing I don't even know why, but he's wearing a suit of armor from like medieval times the whole time.
Dude, he's fucking great, and that show is really good. That show is really fucking good.
But it's that his episode. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just put it on before I was going to bed, and that one had like 2 million views already. And he typically only gets like, I don't know, 400,000, 500,000 regularly. But that one, I mean, the internet went crazy, dude. Like the internet went insane, dude. Will Smith's son tweeted out, "That's how we do it."
Yeah, Jaden Smith.
Yeah, dude.
It's like,
and then he gets. If you look at the comments, though, he's just getting roasted, dude.
Yeah,
it's people just sharing pictures of his like friend that his mom fucked, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, like the only thing that's getting smacked in Jada's world or Jaden's world is his cheeks by another man. Like it's fine, like whatever, do you? But like, come on, bro, you ain't doing that to anybody. You're not the Karate Kid. Like, I know you played it once, but you're not doing shit. And I'm surprised Will Smith did it. But I bet you Jada was like, are you going to do something about that? Like there's no way he did that on his own.
That's everyone's theory, because he was actually laughing at the joke and his wife was not. And then he turned and looked at her, and then he got all serious. So everyone's like,
hey, but I get that. I get that sometimes. You know, where you think something's funny, somebody said something funny, and it's like about your girlfriend or something like that, and you're like, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that.
I've seen my dad do that many times. Yeah.
Like, that's a funny joke, and then your wife or your girlfriend didn't take it as a funny joke, and you're just like, oh, we're not laughing. She's not laughing. We're not laughing. All right.
We're not laughing now. Not funny. Hey, keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Yeah, dude. But I get it.
That was the most uncomfortable part. Like him shouting that.
Dude, like, I thought it was in slow-mo. Like, I literally thought somebody slowed it down because they were like trying to piece the words together. But then the audio came in. I think I had a little delay. And it was like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. And I was like, why is it so slow? I was so confused on why it was so slow. I was like, yo, dude, what the fuck?
Dude, how awkward was it, though? Because Chris Fox, like, all right, I will. He's just like, what do you do, dude? Dude just got slapped on the world stage. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Well, and he didn't, and it wasn't like it was one of those jokes where he was like, oh, I could get in trouble for this one. It wasn't like in his head, he's like, I'm not getting in trouble for this. Like, it wasn't even a thought that it had to cross his mind that he was going to get in trouble for. Like, it was just a joke that he wrote in there real quick. It would have been like, or probably something he thought up on the spot because she had short hair.
It's pretty mild joke. Like, it wasn't even a joke about the whole uncomfortable situation between them. It was literally a joke about her hair.
Yes.
And it's not like she's not proud of it. She's had the bald hair for a while now. I know people say it's a medical thing.
Yeah, she has alopecia, which makes it the hair loss extreme, but it's just like, yo, bro, that shit it wasn't even that funny of a joke. Like, that's the thing. Like, it wasn't even that funny. He was like, I'll see you in the next G.I. Jane. Like, okay, bro. Like, it's not even that bad. Like, go. And these people, like I said, people are soft. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that was like, I understand why it was a story, but it's just crazy to me that was so like upsetting to Jada and Will Smith. Like, I don't know what the fuck is, like, that shit is wild to me. If my girlfriend now got mad at that, I would have been like, no, I'm not doing I'm gonna sit here and laugh. I'm gonna fake laugh because the joke wasn't even that goddamn funny.
You want me to do what?
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's just,
I don't know.
It's just so crazy.
Fucking what else happened this week, Typo? What else? Do we have any other crazy news besides that? I know it ruled the media, but
yeah, that was pretty dominant over the internet. I mean, honestly, it was a lot of memes, which were pretty funny, but that dominated. Let's see, Joe Biden.
I was gonna say, you were sending shit to our fucking group chat like crazy, and I was like, I'm not even reading that right now.
Yeah, well, I don't think Cole did either. I was like, wow, dude, it's a group chat of me right now. But Joe Biden, it's weird because Joe Biden in passing said that Putin should not remain in power or should be removed from power. And then he said in a speech at the very end that this man should no longer be in power. And it was like, does that mean regime change? Like, that's what I took from like what most people did. But then like the White House and all the staff was like, he did not mean regime change. He just meant something else, that his emotion was that how can this man remain in power? You know, like, not that he's saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
they went
but
damage control real quick.
It was just like, what the fuck? And like, I don't know if that's the policy, if Joe Biden's spilling shit, but a lot of people think that was him actually being honest for a moment about what's really going on behind the scenes. And I'm like, dude,
well, did you see, I did see this today, and I don't, maybe you sent it to me or I got like an update, but Jen Psaki's leaving and she's going to go.
She's getting a job.
Yeah, she's getting a job with MSNBC. And I'm like, fucking thank God. I'd rather see somebody else up there. I'm tired of seeing this little fucking ginger fuck up there. Like,
yeah,
God, she pisses me off. The next one's probably going to be worse. I'm going to be like, I wish Jen Psaki was up there, but you know, whatever. Like, at this point, I'm ready for somebody new. Not that I even really give a shit. I just want to see somebody else spout the same lies and see how they do it, because she's just a bitch about it. And I'm like,
you know who was a good,
and now I don't have to see her because I will not have to watch MSNBC. I don't watch MSNBC, so I'll never have to see her again. The really good press secretary at the end of Donald Trump's presidency, when he hired that hot blonde, I don't know her name. I'm terrible with names. Yeah.
But she was actually like, I was like, okay. When she first walked up there, I was like, yeah, I see why Trump hired this one. Like, that's pretty obvious. And then she was actually like really fucking good at it. And I was like, dude, that's perfect. Just this hot, like all the conservatives.
It's like the typical,
everywhere.
Yeah. It was literally like the typical Republican fucking news anchor.
Yeah, dude. It was like, yeah, they got her from Fox News and put her on. I was like, damn, well, who was it before? So smart.
It was the one chick, the brunette.
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah
I liked
Sanders.
her too.
Yeah, she wasn't
not
bad.
Sanders. Sarah, it was something. I think it was Sarah something. I don't think it was Sanders though. But whatever, she was good, and then she was the one that they were talking about him running VP or her being VP the next year. And I was like, oh, that'd be dope. Or her running for something.
I think Sarah is actually running for like Congress in some state now or something. Yeah. She's announced.
Yeah, she was dope. She was pretty fucking dope. But she was like the typical like family businesswoman. Like, that's what she reminded me of.
I'm pretty sure she had like some weird eyes too. Like, there was something.
She had weird eyes. I don't know if we're talking about the same person.
Maybe we're not, dude. I'm talking about, I mean, this woman was, you know, kind of like Shrek, you know?
Well, I just looked up Trump's press secretary, and everything that's going up is Jen Psaki plans to leave for an on air role at MSNBC. So I got Kayleigh McEnany.
That was the last one.
That's the blonde one. And then let's see. Before, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Dude, Sarah was there for a while. I don't know her last name now. And she was all right. I think she did pretty good. I think you were right, but she was always getting made fun of because of her looks.
Yeah.
Then there was some dude, some bald dude. He was okay, but he kind of came off douchey.
Sean Spicer, Sarah Sanders. You are talking about a Sarah Sanders. I'm not talking about Sarah Sanders. I'm talking about somebody else who, whatever. It doesn't matter who I'm talking about because it doesn't make sense in the conversation anymore. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. What's this bitch like? Oh yeah, she was the crazy bitch. She did have the crazy eyes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh. If you guys are watching on video, you'll enjoy that picture. That was a horrible picture of her. Oh my God. But yeah, no. That's not who I was talking about. I'll figure out who I was talking about eventually. But yeah, that was, I remember her giving those briefings because I think she was on there at the beginning of COVID and she wasn't there at the end of COVID. That's for sure.
Yeah.
She was probably like, fuck this. Because if I had to be the White House press secretary at that point in time, I'd be like, you guys can go fuck off. Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like, this is like, I know we spent like 20 minutes talking about it, but like the Will Smith thing, things like that get like blown up. Like it's like, oh, this worst thing ever. Like, oh my God, like we have to talk about this Hollywood thing and we have to keep talking about it. But then like, you won't see them talk about, so that Kennedy, one of the Kennedys that was really good on COVID, and he like was giving speeches.
Yeah, wasn't it like Jack?
Maybe, I'm not sure, but he has a book that's out, and it's called The Real Anthony Fauci, and it's like the #1 seller, and it has like no reviews.
Oh, it was Robert
Kennedy. You're right. Robert Kennedy Jr. And, but yeah, he has like this book and it's like quietly the top seller right now. Has like all these great ratings. And apparently it's all about Anthony Fauci and how fucked up his entire career is.
I just saw that somewhere. I might get it. I'm just about to finish The Machiavellians, which is a really fucking good book. It's really good, but sometimes when I'm reading it at night, I'm like, I had to look up. I can't even think of the fucking word I had to look up last night. I have to look up words every once in a while. It was a word that it didn't. I'm just gonna play it because I just found it. I still can't say it because every time I read it, I don't sound it out right. I don't know. Did you hear that?
No.
Indefatigable.
Indefatigable?
Yes, indefatigable. It's with a G, not a C at the end. Indefatigable. A person.
Are you calling me a fag, dude?
Of a person or their efforts. So that's what it's about. Persisting tirelessly. And I was like, why don't you just put like very persistent? Like why indefatigable? Like I was like, yo, what the fuck does this word mean? And I didn't even know, I couldn't even say it in my head. Like, you know how you're like reading and it's like talking in your fucking head while you're reading. Yeah. Well, I couldn't even, like, I looked at the word probably for 10 seconds and I was just like, I tried to go over, I sounded it out. No idea. Yeah. No fucking idea. And I was just like, what the fuck, Michaels? Because in this fucking book, it's not Machiavelli by fucking whatever his fuckface is. Can't think of his name right now. I'm not saying fuckface in a derogatory way. It's just a way that I'm trying to express myself. But it's not, well, I guess it would be, never mind. But it's like parts of people that took everything from Machiavelli. And this guy put it together in like the 60s. That's what this book is. And you put it together like pre-Machiavelli and post-Machiavelli and Machiavelli, and he like goes over what Machiavelli is talking about and who has tied their stuff into with Machiavelli and who Machiavelli drew his inspirations from when he wrote his stuff. There's this guy named Michaels. I can't even think of the guy's name, but he has a really good portion, and it's like part of the end of the book, and talks about dude, the whole book's just about like how it's kind of what the right libertarians, or not the right libertarians, the post libertarians and the paleo libertarians are kind of talking about, where it's like this is the system we have. It's probably the best system that we're going to get. We're never going to get anarchism. We're never going to get those things because human nature doesn't allow it. Like the ones that say that because human nature doesn't allow it, not because people in power aren't allowing it, but because specifically like human nature looks specifically towards systems that require some sort of rule and law. And there's a really good fucking portion in there. But that fucking word last night, it was at the end of the chapter, and I was like, it took me another 30 seconds to finish the chapter because I was like, I don't know. I know I don't show it on this show, but I'm like a really good reader. Like that was one of the things that I used to score the highest on forever in the history of my academic studies.
I can read.
I can fucking read damn well, and I can understand what I'm reading. I'm really good at it. Something that I've always taken a lot of pride in. But dude, Indefatigable last night fucked me up. I felt stupid, and I was like, what? And then I was upset that somebody would use that word. I was like, why would you use that fucking word? There's so many other words that, dude. Yeah, there's so many other words that people would that can use to say the same exact thing. And why do we even have a word for that? Why is there another word for that? Like it makes no sense.
That's how I feel about a lot of words. Like they're almost like growing up, I didn't do a lot of reading. So I used a lot of words over and over again because I didn't know any other words, dude.
Right.
I just didn't know any other words. But then like you start reading a little bit more and you find out that other words have like very, very specific meanings for certain things. And that's why sometimes they'll use them. But that's why I suck at English, is because I can't.
Well, and that's what's something.
Why is there so many words for the same thing, dude?
But that's my problem. So we're going down a fucking completely different rabbit hole right now. But this is one of my problems. Like I'm trying to learn Spanish because my girlfriend's family, they only speak Spanish, or not all of them, but her grandmother, who I fucking love near and dear to my heart, fucking speaks only Spanish. And she has some English, and she's lived here for fucking ever. And my girlfriend gets mad at her all the time because she never learned English. But it's like, I've lived in fucking Phoenix, Arizona my entire life. I should have learned a lot more Spanish than I do know. And so I'm trying to get conversational with it. And I'm like, we're watching a show right now, and there's a lot of Spanish in it. And thankfully there's a lot of English and Spanish in it. So it's like English and then Spanish. And I read with fucking subtitles all the time. So obviously you and me both do it, but I think I made you do it, and now you're stuck on doing it.
Yeah, there's things I missed.
Yeah, dude. You don't realize how deaf you are until you get to read at the same time when people are talking. But anyways, so in the show, like as I watch it, I can see more and more, like I get more and more Spanish, and I try to say it out loud, and she just makes fun of me. But it doesn't translate, right? Like it doesn't translate the same way. And she's like, it means this, but it's just a general of this. Where in English, we have words like indefatigable, which means of a person and their efforts persisting tirelessly, instead of just saying that a person is persisting tirelessly. It's generally a specific person that I'm talking about, instead of just saying that person's name and saying that they're persistent, which means tirelessly working at something. We have another fucking word that means of a person that is persisting tirelessly, which makes it's just a lot. It's a fucking lot. Whoever came up with this language is a goddamn fucking idiot.
Well, I don't know because I don't know any other languages, but I've always told that English is one of the hardest languages to learn. And it's actually really complicated for a lot of people that don't have English as their first language. And I was like, I get it. Like English is my only language and I struggle with it. So
yeah, dude. And that's the other thing. There's so many different dialects and slang, like Spanish slang. Like, I mean, if you talk Spanish, you can at least conversate with people in Mexico, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Peru, all of South America, all middle of or Central America, and Spain. You know, like you have part of South America, you have a whole fucking continent, and then you have Mexico and Central America that you can conversate with, and then almost all the islands around it, basically. And then you go to Spain and you can talk there. But if you speak fucking English, you can go to goddamn Great Britain. And I get that like more nations at this point in time can speak English, but that's because it's their second language that they learn in school, because they're like, well, they have a really, what goes for nowadays as a really good economy, and almost all of our business is done in American dollars. So we need to learn it. Our societies need to learn it, which, hey, more power to Americans. Like, we figured it out. We were like, we just have to be more powerful than them and they'll learn our language and we don't have to worry about it. But at the same time,
your kids will be speaking Chinese.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I was just about to bring up, it's like Mandarin is one of the most popular spoken languages in the world. But if you look at the different like Asian cultured languages, they're all completely different from each other. They all grew up right next to each other for longer than we did, and their languages are completely fucking different. Like there's not even symbols that are the same. I know.
Writing symbols.
Well, and in kanji.
Fucking, like when I'm looking at that, dude, I'm like, there's no way I'm learning this. Like at least Spanish, when I look at the letters, I can be like, oh, okay, like the A
that's an A.
This sound. Yeah, like I fucking can. Oh, the
give me a fucking picture.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Emojis? What is this?
What is this, dude? And I'm like, that looks like a house. What does this mean? Oh, this is actually the symbol for the dollar. And you're like, what, dude? What is this?
They got like it's not even the symbol for a dollar. It's a paragraph. One symbol is a fucking paragraph.
I don't even know how it works.
Each line means something, and you're like, oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna go fuck myself. What the fuck are we looking at?
That's why that's why like being in Japan, when I first got there, I was like, I'm fucked, dude. I don't know any English, bro, or know any Japanese. I don't know what to do. But like Okinawa was so like Americanized that everything would be like English and Japanese, or it would be like a mix of like English, and then they'll just have like the something in Japanese at the end.
You remember some of them had Spanish translations? Because there were so many Mexicans in fucking the Marine Corps.
Maybe. I actually don't remember that.
Some of them in like in what's it, American Village. Oh, American Village and Naha both had like some Spanish translations because there's so many Mexican people. Dude, there's people in the fucking Marine Corps. I mean, you know this, but to everybody that's listening, there's people in the Marine Corps that don't speak a lick of Freudian slip there. Speak a lick of English.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
People. Yeah, there's a few that I was like, they knew like just, I guess, enough to the Constitution, they swear in, dude. But like, I don't know, it was just so crazy. Like, there's a guy in my boot camp that I always talk about where I don't think he understood my drill instructors in English, but of course we had like, you know, 2 Mexican drill instructors, and they would have to talk to him in Spanish to get him to go do what he wants, because they tell him to do something and he'd stand there and just stare at him and be like, yes sir. Just stare at him, dude.
I had 2 of those in my boot camp.
And so then they like, someone said something in Spanish and then they take off, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened, dude?
Yeah, I would just remember like him standing at the the watch duty in the middle of the night. And it was like right before you got to go to the, like, he'd be first watch, and it was right before you had to wait 15 minutes so you could go to the bathroom. Stupidest fucking rule ever. After chugging a goddamn canteen of water, you had to wait 15 minutes. And then he'd be like, the drill instructor would be like, hey, I don't even remember what his name was. Hey, so-and-so, like, say 15, or give him the time, because they'd call out every 5 minutes until you could go to the bathroom. So it'd be like from 10 minutes and then 5 minutes. And the first one was 15 minutes.
I don't think we had this rule in my boot camp.
They would call it out. So like right at the beginning, it would be 15 minutos not every night, but every time he was on fucking watch. And I was like, all right, I got 15 minutes. Like, I'm learning Spanish, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Well,
yes, minutos.
Remember that long ass thing you had to read when you're on fire watch and boot camp when the drill instructor you're like, good evening, sir. This is recruit Brockhouse, yada yada. So many Marines, so many weapons, so many, like, all, like,
and you'd fuck it up almost every time.
Yeah, you'd have to scream it,
dude. That kid, he would let that kid read it off the wall. He's like, go ahead.
Oh go ahead. They would let him read it off the wall, but they made him do it over and over and over, and he'd yell it, dude. We're laying there trying to go to sleep, but it was the funniest thing.
Well, yeah, they made you yell the entire time.
Yeah,
that was the worst, when a drill instructor would come on at 1 a.m. and then the fucking whatever, the guy on watch, he would sit there and, good evening, sir.
Yeah,
recruit, blah blah blah. Da, 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 da. And I was just like, are you fucking? But thankfully, dude, that was one of the things about the Marine Corps, man. You learn to sleep through anything in boot camp.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, yeah, especially on the West Coast, dude. You had those fucking planes, just constant, bro. Just constantly hearing planes taking off, land, like constantly. Just because the MCRD is right there next to the San Diego airport. It's you just get used to, like, loud shit, people screaming for no reason. You're like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Yeah.
Well, I remember we would sit out there and it would be like, Alpha May Johnson, 1919. And it was like, first and every time drill instructor saw a fucking plane, he'd be like, first airman or whatever. And I don't even remember the date now, but every time he saw a fucking plane, and you see a plane every 2 minutes. Like,
dude, we had a drill instructor that, when we were, when, like, sometimes you're out doing drill or whatever the fuck something outside, and they make you, like, school circle because someone keeps fucking up or they're teaching you a new move, whatever they're doing. And, there'd be times where they're like, yelling screaming at us for about whatever they're teaching us. And then a plane would go over and
you can't hear shit.
You can't hear shit. So they would stop talking. Well, then at one point in time, our drill instructors made it, and when their plane was going by and it was too loud, we had to yell. And he was like, drown out the plane right now. Like, sir. He's screaming at the top of your lungs. He's like, quiet, and then keeps teaching. And he did it every time, dude. It was so annoying. This one drill instructor did that.
Whoever coined the phrase funniest place you can't laugh. Like, God, dude, you do the stupidest shit and you just go on about your day. Like, you do that shit and they continue to teach, and you're just like, whatever. Like, you it's not funny anymore. It's just like something you do. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Like, I don't know.
The amount of bearing.
We got excited to go to sleep. To see who would win the Indy 500. And the Indy 500 in my barracks was, they would make two people, our drill instructor would sneak into our fucking barracks, like our third hat would sneak into our barracks and grab two people out of the racks. And you wanted to get picked. Because you wanted to beat somebody else in your fucking barracks. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you'd grab a fucking towel and you'd lay it out about arm's width, and you get into like a bear crawl formation, like a bear crawl position. And then he would get the other person right next to you, and on the outskirts of the barracks, like where everybody's racks to the wall is, he would have them race around the fucking barracks. And you weren't allowed to cheer, but you were like, yeah. Like, you were like cheering silently.
Yeah.
And like me and my mate would fucking make bets on it all the time. Like we would just sit there and bet, like, oh, I bet you this person was gonna win. A lot of times you could tell because it was always the fat, like for the most part, I don't think I ever got called for it. It was always the fat guys. He was like basically ITing him without ITing him. But you know, it was just like it was fucking the craziest, like, and you don't even laugh anymore. You're just like, hey, $5 on so and so.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
$5.
Well, the amount of bearing though that like the drill instructors have when they're like doing this weird, funny, crazy stuff to us is actually kind of impressive because there's so many times where I'm like, how can they keep a straight face when they're doing this? But like when this drill instructor is screaming at this kid to IT a dead pigeon that was on the side of the road, and everyone's just staring at this kid just fucking screaming at this fucking dead pigeon on the ground or pelican or whatever it was, and he's just, you know, like down, push up, push, and he's like get up, bear crawl, like all that, and it's just a dead pigeon there, and you're just like what the fuck is going on, dude? And you just don't know. And they picked this kid just because he looked like the drill instructor that it was in charge of him. So it's like, you're going to be a drill instructor one day, and like, we're going to teach you how to do it. And they would make him IT. Like, I've seen him IT a sock outside before, dude. It's just so just random objects on the ground. They're like, go IT it. And he fucking goes at it, dude.
They teach you fucking bearing though. And like, I don't think people realize what bearing is. Like, I honestly don't, because you can read everything on everybody's face. Like almost for the most part at work or anything like that, I can read everybody's face. Like nobody has a face like another fucking Marine. Like I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like we're in a meeting or something like that, I have the same fucking face. It's kind of an in-between like a resting fucking bitch face and like, I don't want to be here. Like that's just generally my face.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a whatever.
Well, I think it's kind of like instilled in you to where like you just walk around and you make no facial expression.
Yeah.
You do not make a facial expression. Like that is what you do. You just walk around, and when something weird happens and you make no facial expression, it's not that you're not like, whoa, that's fucking weird. It's
I'm just talking in my head.
You just trained yourself to like not express what your emotion, I guess, is the best way to put it. So you're just stone cold staring at like some fight at college. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like people are like, oh my God, like, freaking out. And you're just stone cold, like, not sad,
but in your head you're like,
anxious.
Damn, that dude just landed a nice right hook. Oh like, my fucking God. But
like,
yeah, dude, and it makes for like very awkward, like like in places of business, it makes for like very awkward conversations because they're like, well, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, sounds good or whatever. And they're like, your face doesn't make it look like you sound good. And I'm like, dude, this is just my face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're like, well, you don't have any like expression. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't wear like on my face, like you generally can't tell. The only time you can tell, and that was the one thing I would get in trouble for in boot camp, is like when I'm angry. Like when I'm angry, when I'm actually angry, and it takes a lot for me to get angry. It takes a shit ton for me to get angry. I don't get fucking angry very often. I mean, you know this, but like I don't get fucking angry very often. But when I get angry, it's not even that my face changes. It's just like all people have told me is that my face goes dark. Like it's like dark, like not shade wise, but it's just like a dark looking face. I don't know what that means. I've never seen myself angry, but that's just what I've been told. And it's like, for the most part, my face is generally the same unless I'm faking a smile, actually happy, or really angry. Like that's it. Like that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing too, is like when you're in like the military, it was frowned upon to smile. Like they didn't want you to smile. And like when you went and got your picture taken, they didn't want you to smile. They wanted you to like serious. And like it was just, that's how it was. And then you move out of military into like college or the corporate world, and then everyone's telling you to fucking smile. And you're like, I don't want to fucking smile, dude. I'll smile when I'm happy. I was like, I'm not smiling right now.
I'm not smiling for something I don't give a fuck about. Like that's the biggest thing, is like I don't like I already get told like, oh, you're real smiley, and I think that's just because like they have two versions of me in their head at my work right now, and it's like either I have no expression whatsoever, which is no expression is automatically taken as like a negative thing. Like if you have no expression, it's negative.
Yeah.
So I either have that expression on my face, and that's just me being normal. I can but it fucks you up in relationships and shit, right? Too. Like having no expression, like when people say sad shit, my face is the same. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, it's the same. Like, that's what you're taught. It's just like, damn, dude, that sucks. Like, it doesn't change. Like, you know, but happy shit, like, dude, that's fucking dope. And it's the same. Like, I'm trying to make it
that's
sound
sad, dude.
different
that's
when
happy,
I,
dude.
yeah, like and the only way that you can tell is like the vocal structure, like how the tone goes up or if the tone goes down. Like that's all you learn, and you do it. And I think people don't realize that in the military you do it so fucking much. You do it so fucking much that it's like, yeah, you have everything that you learned for 18 years, and then you have everything that you've done after that 18 years. But for those 4 years, it was one way or the other. Like it was, you weren't allowed to do it another way. And it's every day that you're doing it. So it's like it's like if somebody made you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day for 4 years, that's like a difficult habit to like give up. You smoked rarely before those 4 years. You smoke kind of off and on, or you smoke probably a lot more after those 4 years. But like for those 4 years, you constantly smoked, and then people like a pack a day, and then people are telling you, hey, you're not allowed to smoke a pack a day because we automatically assume this about you. And it's like, well, first off, fuck you. I was required to smoke a pack a day.
Yeah.
And I still did everything that I needed to. So I'm going to keep doing the smoke a pack a day, or smoke when I want to, and keep doing what I need to do because I know I can do it on a pack a day. So like,
it's like a really hard habit that you pick up.
It's
and
wild.
You don't even, well, I think for a long time, I didn't even realize I did it. I
had no idea.
I'm just like, what are you talking? What do you mean I have no emotion? Like I was like, like I have no expression. Like, what do you mean? I have feelings sometimes. Like I don't know. It's just so weird.
I have feelings sometimes.
Well, it's just so weird that people just like, I don't know, but they just assume it's like that just stone cold face. And I guess that's why, like, when a bunch of people tell you like, well, you look sad, and I'm like, what? Well, that's kind of insulting, but
how dare you say that about me?
And then after like so many times people tell you like, oh, you have like no expression right now, and I just told you my dog died, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, dude. Like
I'm sorry.
I don't know. And
I already said I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you just figure out that like, why do I not make facial expressions? and you start thinking like, damn, well, I did 5 years in the military, and that was not what people did. People are animated. Don't get me wrong, when you're like out of work and you're not like in uniform, people are very animated, and like things are just a little different. But when you're in like that Marine mode, it's just weird. It's just weird.
And that's like people say like resting bitch face, right? But it's like, it's not a resting bitch face. It's just like a resting face. Like I'm just not making any expression whatsoever because I'm not like, you were drilled for 4 years, or at least 3 months, the very minimum 3 months straight. You were not allowed to have any expression. You still did, and you got in trouble for it. So like you trained yourself over. I don't think people realize how easy it is to train shit out of your body. Like if you can literally get rid of all externalities in a human being, like their family, their friends, like everything, if you can get rid of all of that for
change
3
their
months,
whole environment. Yeah,
you can change. Yeah, you can change the entire person, like completely. And it's brainwashing, it's not whatever you want to fucking call it. You can completely change a person in that amount of time, because I mean, we're very malleable to survival, and survival isn't getting fucked up every day. And you know, I still got fucked up every day, and I still have some things that I cling on to, like my facial expressions and shit like that. Like I got fucked up every goddamn day because I had a fucking attitude problem, or at least a problem with authority to responding the correct way. And it's like, yo, dude, I couldn't get over the third like third person speech. Like I couldn't get over. I would always say I. Always say I. Always say I. You're not allowed to say I would always say I. And it's like this recruit. And I'm like, what? Like I'd get so confused when they would correct me with this recruit. And then I'd be like, this recruit. And he's like, go on. And I was like, and then they would be like, this recruit. And I'd be like, I, and then just get fucked up. And that's, like, it's just one of those things. It's wild what you can do to a human being after a certain amount of time.
Like, well, for me in boot camp, actually, I was like a ninja, dude. They didn't know who they didn't know me. I blended in with the GP, and I was like in and out of sight until like halfway through. And then I think one of the drill instructors, like, it was funny because he was like, have you been in this platoon the whole time? I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, no, you haven't. You're new and something. And and then after that point on, they're like, new guy, go get on the quarterdeck. And I'm like, I'm not fucking new. I've been here the whole time, dude. Just because you didn't recognize me, like, fuck you, dude. But
dude, that's crazy because I'm like, our last names start with B's. So like, because I was at the beginning, I kind of blended in for a while. Like I tried not to be the top. I could beat a lot of the top guys, but I was definitely not going to be a bottom guy. So I was in like the top quarter, I was like, I'm in shape, so I'm not going to get in trouble for being out of shape. But then I'd get in trouble for like stupid shit, for like being off count because I'm in my own head, or being fucking, like you make me march. Like I could march all fucking day. I could probably do most of the fucking routine.
Dude, watching the Marines like fuck up marching was the most frustrating.
Dude, it was
to me
because it's so easy.
I was also in. It's not even like we did a lot of marching, but I was in marching band for like my freshman and sophomore year of high school before I was on the varsity football. And like you just walk in step. So I'm assuming maybe that's where I picked it up at. But like everything we did with marching was so easy, and to watch people like walk around.
It's too
like
fast
retards.
For white people, and it's too slow for Mexicans. So like that's the majority of the Marine Corps. So like that's why it's so hard for them to stay on the same rhythm. Like I swear to God, it's too fast for white people. It's too slow for Mexicans. Like or Hispanic people in general. Like that's the reason why everybody's all fucked up at once, because we're operating on 3 different levels. And it doesn't matter how fast it is for, the black folk out there, because they can figure out a beat no matter what. But like I swear to God, it's too fast for white people. The fucking marching rhythm. Well, just white people have no rhythm in general. And then too fucking fast or too slow for Mexicans. Like I swear to God, that's what it is.
That's probably a good way to put it. But yeah, dude, you can definitely like change how people like live, or how they at least how they maneuver in life, because they just treat you like cattle, and you kind of just have to like figure it out and go.
Isn't that a crazy way to grow up through like their first 4 years of your adult life?
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
And it's more strict than almost anybody's parents have ever been.
Yeah, like by far, like by far stricter than anyone. Like you have a stricter lifestyle that, and yeah, you're like, I don't even know how to explain it. You're like almost treated worse than like children. Like you go back and get treated like a 7-year-old, but they want you to kill. So it's like really weird. Like you don't understand like what's happening. And it is, but it does, like, I guess
it does weird. Its
like
goal.
The Marine Corps, I would say the Marine Corps, like, I don't know if this is the plan, but they're really good at making everyone's life miserable. So then the people that are miserable will bond.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like things are just so miserable.
It does.
That you bond with the people. And like
misery
I remember
loves
like
company, right?
Graduating boot camp and being like, dude, this guy's like my best friend. I'm gonna know him forever. And then I only talked to like one guy that I was in boot camp with, and everyone else, like, I couldn't tell you if they're dead or alive.
Yeah. And I don't really care either. I'm trying to see. This is what your tax dollars go to, by the way, everybody. Like this is what your tax dollars go to. I was trying to see if there was any. Oh, tell us about your April Fool's, Typo. I didn't realize it was April Fool's today either. I was kind of gone to the wind and didn't really talk to a whole lot of people. But tell us about that, and I'll try and find something good to end on.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget when it's April Fool's. I feel like I should know it's the same day every year, but I always forget. And it used to be like as a kid, like something I was kind of excited for to like prank on my friends or whatever. But I don't really do that anymore. So I woke up, get to work, having some coffee. So I checked Twitter. I'm like, the first thing I see is like Putin and Ukraine come to a peace agreement. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is wild. And it's like a video of Putin talking. And it was like him talking, but they had English subtitles. And I don't know any Russian. I have no Russian at all. Nothing. I don't know nothing. And so I halfway through, I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is insane. What happened? What did I miss? What did they agree on? And then it's like Putin, at least his subtitles are saying that he's going to give up Crimea to Ukraine. And that's when I was like, wait, something's weird's going on. Like, I don't understand. And I click the comments and it's just like April Fools, April Fools, April Fools. And I was just thinking, like, I mean, maybe people aren't as gullible as me, but at the same time, what if like some Ukrainian saw that today and was like, oh my God, the war's over? And then it's just like April Fools.
There's just a whole bunch of Western societies. April Fools, just kidding.
Yes, psych, you're still at war.
Dumb bitches. All right, well, these are the top things on trending on the news on Twitter. So there's a study by the Los Angeles Times. This is their tweet. Study: people exposed to secondhand cannabis smoke may be inhaling more toxic chemicals from bongs than cigarettes.
Dude, this has been a hot topic because
So what's going on? I mean, Jared fucking hit us up about it. I didn't really pay attention. What's going on Twitter with libertarians and weed and shit like that?
I don't know about libertarians, but all I know is something to make some federal bill is passing to make marijuana federally legal, and it just passed the House.
No.
But
it's probably going to raise the entire tax prices, and the black market's still going to succeed. And
yeah, I think there's I think it's actually like, instead of them making weed illegal, they're basically, the federal government's now going to get involved with the distribution, and I don't know about distribution, but at least taxing, and get much more legislation on marijuana.
Sounds about right.
But don't get me wrong, there were like, I saw some video of some Republican from somewhere that was like, marijuana is a gateway drug, and I was like, oh my God, dude, we're still on this.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna read the text conversation because this is great. So here's Jared, everybody. It's funny, I've been seeing screenshots. Gotta protect my kids from the gate. Oh wait, no, it's you guys should talk about current Liberty Twitter jihad against weed and the gays, because most of Liberty Twitter are totes, not just Fox News Republicans. It's him being sarcastic. And I was like, I haven't seen it. He's like, it's funny, I've been seeing screenshots. Got to protect my kids from the gays and the immigrants, all in caps. And then you were like, neither have I, besides Massey, but he has some good reasons against the marijuana thing. And then Jared was like, in all caps, and the gay immigrant liberal weed agenda. I wish everyone would stop being faggots for like 3 seconds. And then Typo said, I'm moving to Florida, so you can't say gay when you come visit me. Tim, our buddy, gross. And then Jared, ew. No, it's not gross. Florida banned the gays. Typo. Then how are you moving to Florida? That was Jared to Typo. Yeah, I'm going to look at it more, and I'll tweet about it this weekend, because I just think the whole we've talked about this. I hit on it last week about the fucking transgender thing. But like, I think a lot of y'all's fucking Christian, like, height I don't know, I'm better than now fucking reasoning on gay people and weed and deviance, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, is stupid. I just think it's stupid. I'm sorry. I have no other better way to say it. Legalize all drugs, and then I can do them whenever I want without going to jail. Legalize prostitution, because nobody gives a fuck, and it'll at least make the people that are doing it safe while they're doing it, because then they can have companies that they go to. And I'm not saying companies are the end all be all, but fuck, it's a lot easier to leave a Yelp review when the person at the store is beating the shit out of the girls that work there than complaining to the police, and then the girl gets thrown in prison for prostitution and the guy goes free because he can pay off the cops. Like, I don't know. I just think the whole fucking libertarian Christian thing, I don't care if you are. I think it's a good way to live your life, or, generally, if you actually follow it. But at the same time, like, I just don't give a shit. Like, that's not me, and that's not how I do things. So I don't really give a fuck. I'm going to enjoy my vices and be a decent person on top of that, because you can do both. And for those of you that saying you can't, I think you're retarded.
Yeah, I don't know what Jared saw, because I didn't really see any of that. I didn't see, not even the typical people spouting it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not even saying I follow all the people on Liberty Twitter. I'm sure there's plenty of people I don't associate with, but I didn't really see a lot of people freaking out about it. I mean, I've seen a lot of people making fun of the only thing I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is like the DeSantis just passed that bill in Florida.
Yeah, they don't say gay shit.
Yeah, but the actual bill says
doesn't say gay at all.
Yeah, it doesn't say gay at all. It basically says that you can't teach sex and talk about sexual orientation and gender stuff with kindergartners to third grade, which, I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of legislation. I'll teach you the
pre-K.
But yeah, right. Yeah, I'll teach it my daycare. but like, to me, I'm like, I don't think that's, that bad. I don't think it's that crazy. What's really cool actually is like Disney went after Ron DeSantis. Like, the corporation has spoke out against this numerous times and has said they're going to do everything they can to repeal this bill. And that pissed off DeSantis. And he was like, and just basically in a press conference, just like slandered Disney. I mean, he did the whole like right-wing China thing where, like, I bet if I had a bill where I wouldn't teach about the Uyghur genocide, Disney wouldn't say anything. And I was like, the right-wing thing.
Hey, but I don't blame him. Like, I'm cool with that.
It makes a good point.
Yeah. I think, I was talking to my mom about this because she brought it up, and I was like, I really don't care. I was like, about it. Do I think this is what our tax dollars should go to, is these kind of bills? Honestly, probably not. But like, I don't blame the people of Florida for voting in people that put this kind of legislation on the block. Like, I think it's a waste. I don't think it's actually going to do anything. I think it's a virtue signal towards the base, but I don't fucking blame them. I mean, what's better, like letting them spout this shit, and then you still have the choice to send your kids to public school or not, and you teach them the value base that you want them to have, or you let them go to public school and let them teach them the value base that they think they should have. Like, that's still a personal choice issue. And I understand also, like, I'm not getting into obviously the nuances of, oh, can you afford it? This, that, or the other. Like, I get that, but fuck, I grew up in a lesbian household and went to public school, and it didn't make me gay. Like, like the fuck, like, it's like,
yeah. Well,
I joined the Marine Corps, which is basically gay. I just don't care. Like, it's just one of those bills that I don't really give a fuck about. Like, I understand why it's a bill, but I think it's a giant virtue signal. I don't think it's stopping anything, but I don't really think it's put in place to actually do anything. I think it's an like a big virtue signal.
Yeah. Well, I also like, I mean, the like school or public schools basically is like a hot topic for Republicans, right? And
Yeah,
conservatives in general. It's like a big thing where
yeah,
it just so happens there's a lot of parents that are really interested in what's taught at their kids' school. And I mean, I don't if anyone's ever seen libs of TikTok, I mean, it's pretty creepy. You see all these like weird videos of like
yeah.
these wokey type teachers and it'll be like third grade teachers like bragging about how they teach their students
This,
about
that, or the other. Yeah,
like some woke thing. And it's like, yeah, if I was like a conservative parent and my kid went to that school, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah,
what is going on here? And they're like in third grade. Like, what are we doing here?
yeah. And I was like, why do you like? That's my, and I think that's what we kind of agreed on. It's like, why do we fucking care? Why are we teaching them one way or the other? Like, can we just like let them be children? Like, just let them be kids. Like, there's gonna be boys that want to wear dresses because they don't understand the ramifications of that. And it's like, who gives a fuck, dude? Let them wear a goddamn skirt. Let them wear a tutu. Who gives a fuck? Like, and I think Jordan Peterson has a fucking great thing on this, like a really good thing on this. And I'm sure you can find it, but it was like about his son, like what should he allow and this, that, or the other. And it was really good, but it's like he has to do it to realize he doesn't like it. And it's like the joke where it's like, oh, you're not gay. And they're like, no, I've never sucked a dick. And it's like, how do you know you're not gay then? Like, how do you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a joke, but at the same time, it's like there's these people that are like, they've never been in these situations in their life. And then you see them in the situation and they're, you know, fucking 6 dicks deep in a bar. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. You just never tried it before, but you were extremely homophobic before that.
Yeah. There's definitely been some interesting cases in like the Marine Corps. You're like, dude, is that dude gay? Is that gay? He seemed pretty against the homos last night.
Well, and then, all right. So I'm just going to finish on these last two things. The New Statesman, they posted financial markets may have just predicted a recession. No shit. There's been a lot of people that have been saying that for a long ass time. And I haven't read into what exactly the market did that predicted a recession, but fuck, we've seen like multiple market predictions that were very similar to before the 2008 crash, and we've been calling it since then. So
what's interesting is so they're talking about raising the interest rates. That's been at like basically fucking zero.
No, I told you they already did. The first raise already went through, and it's like every 6 months after that. Yep.
Okay.
The Fed did.
Right when in 2004 to 2006, they raised them from 1% to 5%. And then that's when we saw the crash in, I think, the end of 07 going into 08. So it's like, oh shit, like that's when it happened. Well, what's really funny is now they're like debating, like they're having these talks and like there's articles about it, like, oh, they're really discussing. I was like, are they going to raise it from 0.25 to 0.5? It's like, oh shit, dude. If you can't even raise it to 1%, like they're scared to raise it to 1%. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like it's
gonna be wild.
It's not.
It's gonna be a
sign.
wild ride.
I'm no expert. I'm not gonna pretend that I know exactly what's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen. All I know is like I can read data points and I know a little bit about history. And when interest rates starts getting raised, the economy doesn't do very good after that.
Absolutely.
For a little
and then
bit.
The last thing that's trending that was on the top was Jack Dorsey. And the first thing was Bloomberg Technology on this trending area. And it said NFTs are the future of gaming, according to Twitch co-founder Justice Khan. He tells Emily Chains TV, which I don't know what that has to do with Jack Dorsey. But the second thing is Bitcoin Magazine. And it says Jack Dorsey holds private meeting with U.S. Congress Financial Committee on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, in quotations, for everyone in the world. And the next one is Jack Dorsey was in private Bitcoin Q&A session with congressional Democrats. It's gonna be fucking interesting. Oh shit. Right underneath that, House Republicans on Twitter. That Twitter under Jack Dorsey's leadership, or it says never forget, and it's like the wee woo lights. That Twitter under Jack Dorsey's leadership censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, which was 100% true for weeks. They still haven't been held accountable for this or adequately explained why they did this. So it's like a couple different things why Jack Dorsey's trending. Bitcoin, I always love to see Bitcoin trending, obviously. But Jack Dorsey doing a private financial Q&A with Congress, that seems sketchy shit to me. That sucks, because I just feel like regardless of how great he says Bitcoin is, they're going to come out with the opposite idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how the government, I know the government's trying to get involved, a little bit involved with it. At least they've spouted some ideas. I don't think anything's like set in stone, or maybe it was pushed back on. So I don't know if I've seen any real concrete stuff that they're trying to push with legislating Bitcoin. But I did find out that apparently BlackRock has found some interest in Bitcoin recently, which is kind of a big deal because like BlackRock is, if anyone doesn't know, it's like one of the largest asset managing companies in the world. It's like a $9 trillion company. Like this, it's like absolutely insane. A $9 trillion company is like bigger than most countries, like their GDP. It's insane. And so if like they take some interest into Bitcoin, and it was like some statement, and I watched a video on this guy breaking it down because I didn't read the whole thing, but basically is that their shareholders, I've been pushing them to get into Bitcoin and they've been kind of refusing it, but they came out with a statement saying like, all right, we'll finally look into this for you because you guys have been pushing this for so long.
Yeah, if you look up BlackRock and Bitcoin on Google or anything else, the first things that come up is BlackRock planning to offer crypto trading, sources say. That's from CoinDesk. And then a YouTube video, BlackRock is going big into Bitcoin. If BlackRock offers crypto trading, what would it mean for investors? BlackRock planning to offer Bitcoin trading. So it's pretty fucking crazy if BlackRock's getting into it, because that's a huge market share that is going to be invested into Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of knows, like whatever we feel, we are betting on Bitcoin. Fine. Some people bet on gold, silver, whatever, or other cryptocurrencies. Fine. But I think there's like this world consensus right now that maybe not everyone thinks the dollar is going to fail, but that the dollar is unstable. And people are looking around for anywhere and everywhere to put their money in other things besides the dollar, because things, I don't know if the whole sanction with Russia, our economy, how it is, and all the inflation that's happening. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to like fucking collapse. They're raising interest rates. They're not saying it's going to collapse or like it's going to go away forever. But it looks like the dollar is going to take some major hit, and a lot of people around the world, anyone paying attention, wants out, or some other sort of safety net and some other asset. Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be fucking interesting. That's for goddamn sure. I don't know when it'll happen, but man, it looks like it's going to happen soon. I don't know about you, but it looks like it's going to be happening soon. And I'd take my, little sum of sats over any dollar amount when that happens.
Yeah, and Bitcoin just they mined 19 million Bitcoin. So there's only 2 million Bitcoin left to mine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking wild. You can look up the date. I think I told Typo the date. I don't know if I'm absolutely correct on it, so I'm not gonna say it again. But you can look up the date that the last Bitcoin will be mined. Like you can physically. Just because of the way the process is and how strenuous it is, you can legitimately look up. And I think it's a while. Like I think it's a while that the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. But
I think you're right. I think we got a bit.
And like
either,
a shit ton it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because 19 million have been mined since fucking 2000.
2040.
Yeah, 2040 is when it's going to be.
That's what it says. The last Bitcoin is expected to be mined sometime around 2040.
Yeah.
The supply of Bitcoin is limited, a final cap of 21 million.
Yep. So, and I think there's something crazy like 2 million that's already been lost, 2 million Bitcoin that have already been lost, that people can't get access to their wallets. And I think that's one of going to be the interesting thing going forward with Bitcoin is the amount of people, because that's just like known. Like people are like, I had this amount of Bitcoin, and they've made news stories and people are tracking it. That's not, I think it's actually the amount of people that haven't moved any Bitcoin in like 6+ years. I think that's what they go off of because you can see every transaction, right? So they know exactly where it's at, but they know it hasn't been moved in 6+ years or some amount of time that you can visualize and see that it hasn't been moved in this amount of time. And it's like, that's what they're stating at this point in time as lost. And so there's only ever going to be, 19 million Bitcoin. Like that's, it's wild. It's going to be crazy because
there's more millionaires in the world right now than there is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So like, that's how you kind of have to think about it. Like,
yeah,
all those people are still millionaires. Like,
yeah. So what's going to happen if Bitcoin becomes the currency? Like if it becomes the currency, people with 2 million sats right now are going to be richer than they've ever been in their entire life. Like right now. And they continue to invest in it. Like they're going to be richer than they've ever been their entire. If you have 500 sats, by the time that it is the global currency, if it becomes the global currency, and that's what we're betting on, like you will have more money than the majority of the people in the world. And it's going to be it's going to be a weird way to live, man.
Yeah. I think for a while it took us, because it kind of like we found out about Bitcoin. We had Carr come on and talk to us about Bitcoin, but we never really like started getting into it because we were like, I don't really know what's going on. It sounds good in theory, but like, I don't fucking know. And that was when Bitcoin was at like 7,000 or 8,000. And then it wasn't until we like started buying in, but it was already at like 40 or 50 or maybe even 30,000. I don't remember. We're like, all right, maybe we should.
Let's just do this before. Let's just do this before it gets any higher. Because I think it's just only going to go higher.
Because a lot of my mindset was like, it was like trading, like stocks. Like I want my money quick. Like you put some money in, boom, it goes up, withdraw, get my money. And that's how I thought of it. Now I didn't think of it as like this long-term, drawn out, like having I guess a lower time preference. And then eventually it could become something worth like a lot of money. But
and for me, it's like if it takes 70 years and it becomes the currency of the future or whatever, that's fine with me. Like, I don't care at this point. I don't care. If it's not my riches, it's going to be my family's riches. And that's completely cool with me. But I just believe at some point in time, it's going to be the currency of the future.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm betting on, dude. Hopefully we're right, or we're all going to be broke together.
Well, we're going to be broke anyway, so who cares? It's the dark horse, and I'm betting on it. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, dude. Either we're all going to be rich together, or we're all going to debtor's prison, baby. Let's go.
Exactly. Who gives a shit? All right. Well, that's the fucking shit show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Typo, you got any last words?
Buy Bitcoin and don't hit people at the Oscars.
Or hit more people at the Oscars, one or the other.
Well, we don't ever promote violence on this show.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. Don't hit people at the Oscars. That's the fucking shit show. We out.
setting fire to the blunt of allowable opinion.